At the 2025 Game Awards, Ace Combat 8 Wings of Thieves was officially announced and given a 2026 release date. The announcement drew the attention of many new players, likely intrigued by a combat flight game in a time where the genre is flying under the radar. These new players might have also discovered that the Ace Combat franchise has almost no titles available on modern hardware. It's speculated that re-releasing older games would require paying exorbitant prices for licensing the real-life planes again. As such, new fans have taken to the skies for their first time in the only readily available entry in the series, Ace Combat 7. If you've never played an Ace Combat game before, let me assure you that Ace Combat is far more than just a series where you battle in fighter jets. Ace Combat games have historically been filled to the brim with fascinating lore, memorable characters, and overwhelming superweapons. In AC7, you get to experience everything big and small that makes this franchise unique. Hilarious squad banter.
Some guys have got big money riding on you going down, so watch your back. Spare 7, shut up.
The horrors of war. Flying a fighter jet through tight spaces. And the undisputed best girl.
Come on, damn it!
I've 100%ed the campaign and can confidently say that this game is a fantastic starting point for those intrigued by combat flight games. While there are so many things to enjoy about this game, allow me to provide 3 big reasons why I think Ace Combat 7 is just the game for you. If you're unfamiliar with combat flight games, all the gameplay you're seeing might look very similar, just a different battle in a different place. But that's not true at all. While every mission does require the destruction of key enemy forces, the game does a good job of creating variety through differing mission objectives, enemy types, and environmental conditions. Early in the campaign, the player will be presented with a simple task, and as the campaign continues, the aforementioned factors will make said task more difficult. Let's take a look at an example. There are 4 times throughout the campaign the player is tasked with destroying hostile bombers before they can reach and bomb their target, resulting in a mission failure. In Mission 1, the sole objective is to destroy the enemy bombers. The bombers and their escorts are few in number, and each wave only spawns after the previous one has been destroyed, meaning it's not really possible to be overwhelmed. Almost every bomber plane is a Tu-95, slow, weak, and easily shot down. The bombers can only destroy the allied base when the mission time runs out, which is 25 minutes. So the only way to fail the mission is by either getting shot down or running out of time, which means realistically by literally trying to do so. By Mission 5, the player should be more comfortable with piloting and battling in a fighter jet, and so the game accordingly ramps up the difficulty. While the sole objective remains the same, this time around the allied base has an invisible health bar, so the bombers can destroy the base well before the mission time runs out. The tricky part is that the bombers attack from wide angles and in continuous waves. The player needs to maintain a certain pace in destroying the bombers. Being inefficient means the damage from each wave will stack quickly, resulting in a mission failure. It's very possible to fall behind the curve. On top of that, the Tu-95s are now accompanied by a few sturdier Tu-160s and faster and stronger escort fighters. The mission can be tough, but at least the mission failure dialogue is funny.
This is Normal 1. Delivery complete. We have what we need. Going home. Damage report. We need to send our wounded.
The mission has failed.
How about them apples?
Silence. Deserters will be punished.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Shut up. Shut up.
Mission 12 continues the escalation. The sole objective of the mission is to defend an allied installation against waves of various hostile forces. The bombers are now a mandatory sub-objective, and so their 3 waves are deployed at scattered intervals. All 3 waves, consisting of 95s, 160s, and escorts, will fly in a straight line towards the installation at high speeds. It doesn't take long for those bombers to reach their target, and if just a single wave drops their payload, the mission results in a failure. The bombing fleet isn't hard to destroy. Rather, the difficulty lies in just how many other encroaching hostiles there are. The player is tasked with destroying several groups of APCs, tanks, advanced tanks, attack helo units, transport helo units, jet fighters, and even some stealth fighters. If the player gets caught up in the intense battle and reacts too slowly to the bombers, they'll drop their payloads, resulting in a mission failure. If the player does destroy the bombers but too slowly, the hostile ground forces will advance, forcing the player back down to make up for lost time. While they catch up on that, the next wave of bombers will eventually spawn. You get the point. The player has to efficiently destroy all hostile forces and bombers, not just one or the other. Mission 17 is the final and most difficult encounter. Once again, destroying the bombers is a mandatory sub-objective that can catch the player off guard. They spawn pretty far away from the island, so it can take a bit of time to get into range of them. Comprised exclusively of 160s and powerful escort fighters, the fleet is spread far apart, making it difficult to target multiple at a single time. The 160s keep a quick pace, and after a little while, will fly through a dense cloud. In AC-7, clouds cause several effects that heavily favor the defender. Once the bombers cross through the clouds, it's only a stone's toss to the island. If a single bomber drops a single bomb, the mission fails. Sturdy bombers, powerful escorts, and not that much time to destroy everyone makes for an easy mission failure for the unprepared. What starts off as a relatively easy to understand mission objective goes on to become a skill check, but not one that's frequent enough to become repetitive. You won't just be battling bombers all game. The 23 missions will pit you against powerful jet fighters, naval fleets, anti-air ground units, and so much more, all through lightning strikes to sandstorms to city airspaces and so much more. All of this is to speak nothing of the several boss encounters and super weapons, each requiring a different strategy to take down. If all this sounds difficult and intimidating, don't worry, because as numerous and diverse as the enemies are, you're powerful. Far more powerful. To even the odds, the game arms the player to the teeth. Each and every plane comes fully loaded with a machine gun and missiles, ideal for close and medium range respectively. If your piloting skills are up to snuff, you can clear the entire campaign with just these two weapons. They're efficient, consistent, and you get a whole lot of them. On top of that, every plane is able to use 3 special weapons, one at a time. They're designed for specific scenarios, particularly where the machine gun and missiles might not cut it. Special weapons include, but are definitely not limited to, cluster bombs, laser beams, high-velocity missiles, rocket pods, homing missiles, pulse lasers, and railguns. Remember all those bombers? Why not equip a 4-target air-to-air missile and shoot down several at a time? Got a bunch of ground targets huddled together? Drop a guided penetration bomb on all of them. Trying to take down an aircraft carrier? Fly low and fire some long-range air-to-ship missiles. That'll sink them. Got a problem? There's a specific special weapon that's the solution. It's fun to tear through enemy ranks with high-powered weapons, but what really sells the experience is just how well designed the planes are. The Ace Combat franchise pays the real-life manufacturers of the fighter jets in order to be able to authentically recreate them in-game. And I'd say the end result is well worth the money. From both the outside and the inside, the planes feel genuine. The way the dials move around in the cockpit, or how the tips of the wings turn to adjust the trajectory of the craft, it just looks good. On top of that, knowing that these planes are completely modeled off real life adds a layer of legitimacy that really sells the in-game world and lore. The planes really ground the experience. One of the most common barriers of entry that new players will cite is the difficulty of controlling planes. For those not used to this genre, some of the speeds these planes fly at makes it hard to control. It's also disorienting to be able to move in any direction, especially high in the sky without any kind of landmark to provide a sense of direction. I do feel that there's merit to these arguments, but I also feel like it's not hard to learn the controls. AC-7 is an arcade game, not a simulation, meaning that fun is placed above realism. While the planes may look like they do in real life, they aren't limited by the laws of physics their real-life counterparts obey. This design choice means that flying the planes looks authentic, but feels fun. That's critical, especially since everything is based around them. But there's a lot more than the gameplay that makes this title worth checking out. Music is the most substantial reason why I keep thinking about a video game long after I put it down, and AC7 is no exception. Composed by these talented individuals, the soundtrack has a fantastic variety of sound to match the fantastic variety of missions, briefing, and cutscenes. The stellar soundtrack fits incredibly well behind the hectic sounds of battle and radio chatter, but can be most easily heard during the quiet moments of the mission, like flying towards an objective. I don't know anything about music theory, but I can say that the Ace Combat soundtrack sounds so good, despite being so varied. Here are 5 examples. In Mission 3, the player and their allies are blitzed by a hostile superweapon, and this haunting track plays as friendly forces are torn apart. Mission 7 tasks the player with bombing radar stations in awful flying conditions. The laid-back track perfectly matches the squadron's complaints. My favorite track in the entire game plays during Mission 8, where the player is tasked with bombing an oil field. DLC Mission 1's track straight up sounds like you're fighting for the Galactic Empire from Star Wars. Even the menus have incredible music too. Listen to the first hangar theme. Honestly, I could go through every single mission and provide an example to prove my point. Music has always been a strength of the franchise, and 7 lives up to that legacy. It's speculated that the Ace Combat franchise has had to stave off bankruptcy several times. AC7 went through development hell, and during the silence, it seemed like the franchise had just died off. Against all odds, the game was released on January 18, 2019, and since then, has sold a record-breaking 7 million copies. Its success is the reason why we have another game to look forward to at all. It's not a perfect game by any metric. Its development troubles left clear cracks, particularly in its story and localizations. Some translations from Japanese are just straight up wrong. I wouldn't even say this title is in my top 3 Ace Combat games, but 7 is significantly more than the sum of its parts, most of which I believe are very strong. They all come together to make a game that was incredible enough to save the franchise by reaching millions of players and creating the next generation of Aces, a generation that you could be a part of. So, if there's anything about this game that interests you, purchase a copy of Ace Combat 7 and soar to skies unknown. Thanks for listening, and until next time, take it easy.